what are the processes that you use from start to finish, right? So, and I blocked it out into kind of 4 areas: sourcing, listing, selling, packing, right? Or sending, those sorts of kind of niche areas. So for me, I have essentially 2 or 3 places that I source from. So Arthur Rank Retail Hub in Sawston, they essentially, all of the shops send their clothes there. Well, when they get donated, and then they get redistributed out from that place, but they do sell some stuff there as well, which is where I get my mystery bags from. I'm not sure how that much longer that's going to last for because the woman's left. And do you source on platforms as well? So essentially Facebook Marketplace. So let's talk about that one. So Claire, whereabouts do you get your main bulk of your items from?
Okay, so the bulk is mainly from charity shops, and there's like a few areas that I hit. So there's a couple near where I live. Oh, I think there's only like 2 though, and they are very reasonably priced. And then I go into Blackburn, and there's a few there, but some of them are a bit like pricier, so I have to kind of be careful about what I buy from there. And then try and just hit sort of surrounding areas. So Accrington, which is like 15 minutes away on a train, has so many charity shops. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like the shopping centre in the middle of it is like mainly just sort of like a couple of cafes, empty shops, and charity shops. So there's like loads, and they're all different price points. So I mainly go, mainly charity shops. Just depends on like time, and how I'm feeling. But mainly I think I mainly do Blackburn because it's a bit more accessible, and like I think we were saying last week, I can get it on the way to work or after work if I'm finished before 5. So it's mainly sort of shopping in the area, because I've bought like one thing off eBay, and then listed it on another platform. But I like to actually like see the items and see like if there's any sort of defects or anything, or you get much more of a sense of like how old it is if you can actually like see the label and such. So I tend to try and buy as much in person as possible. I think obviously as the business grows and I need to spend less time doing like certain things, I might branch out into looking online. I have like loads of stuff like favorited and whatever of things that I think, oh, if I was buying stuff online, I would buy this to then resell. But yeah, mainly in person. I think just I like shopping anyway, so there's a way to kind of
pretty much
monetize.
The best part of it, right? Shopping.
Yeah, monetize my hobby, and I can have a bit more fun because I'm not spending my own money, I'm spending the business money.
Yeah,
I can go and buy loads of things.
What about you, Karen?
I'm quite lucky. I've got about 9 charity shops, about 15 minutes drive from where I live. They're all in like different various little villages, but potentially it only takes me about 10 or 15 minutes, to get to them. And in 2 villages, there's 3 clumped together, more or less on the same street. So it's brilliant, But yeah, it's mainly charity shops. This year, I started going to carboots, but we've only been to one so far, and that's the closest to where we live, and that's at Doncaster over. That's on a Sunday. We didn't go yesterday though, with it being Father's Day. So yeah, I don't tend to look online on Vinted or eBay, for stock. To be quite honest, I do get quite a lot of stock, from the charity shops that I go to already. In town, because I live just outside Rotherham, I can just nip into town as well, but I tend to find the shops in town are a lot more expensive than the local shops where I live. Yeah, and Sheffield, I've been up to Sheffield a couple of times, and prices are just extortionate. I've stopped going.
Yeah,
I've stopped going. Yeah,
because some resellers do buy from Vinted to sell on eBay. I've seen that before.
Yeah, yeah, I have. Yeah, but I've never. I don't know. I've never kind of looked.
And I've bought a 45 kilo bale of jeans from Bulk Vintage Wholesale. They're selling them from price was reduced from 600 to 150 quid for 45 kilos of jeans, and I think there was about 70 or 80 in there, something like that. So basically £2 a pair of jeans.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I think we've sold most of them now, maybe half of them at the moment.
Yeah.
So I've probably made my money back now, and I've just kind of got to kind of stick with it because it does take time to sell, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah, definitely. Where I live as well, have you heard of Preloved Kilo?
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
I like
their
going
head
there.
office is about half an hour from where I live, drive away, and they don't tend to open their head office, but they did once, and that were a good 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah.
So we went. You have to queue. You have to get a ticket to get in and what have you.
Yeah.
But compared to the shops where I think they sell it £20 per kilo, at the warehouse they were selling it for £15 per kilo. So I've got loads of stuff on that one particular day. But I've been up to the shop in Sheffield, but it's like in a student area, and the clothes weren't as good value as what they were at head office. But they only open head office if they're not having one of the road shows, because they go all around the country, don't they, and have these pop-up shops.
Yeah.
You know, on a particular weekend. Yeah, but yeah, bought some brilliant clothes from there. I just wish they'd open a little more often.
Yeah, I'm just a bit curious about like kilo buying, because when I bought some t-shirts, it worked out to be about 4 or 5 t-shirts per kilo, right? And if you're paying 15 to £20 a kilo, that's still £4 or £5 a t-shirt, which is still quite expensive.
Yeah, I get that, but they are designer.
Yeah.
Are proper good vintage clothing. Yeah, and they're like A grade.
Yeah, because jeans come in at about 400 or
yeah.
500 grams, don't they, to half a kilo.
Yeah.
So you'd be paying 10 quid a pair of jeans.
Yeah, you've got to be careful at those kind of kilo sales, as you say, like not to buy. It's a bit like when you buy pick and mix, you've got to buy the really light items that you think will sell.
Yeah.
So like I always have my eye on dresses. When I go in, I don't look at jeans or like, the chunky flannel shirts or like coats, because some stuff they'll cap it. So you can buy a coat for like £15 or whatever, instead of putting it in your bag and then it being like, but per weight it'll be like loads more. I used to live in Brighton, and like they would be like a kilo sale literally every week, because there was about 4 or 5 different companies that would do it. So there was always one to go to. So I used to go all the time, and they were. I missed them so much. So it was so much fun, because you just didn't know. It did get a bit crazy when, like, if you go early, then you're all right. But then all of a sudden everyone arrives, and there's about like 5 people all looking at the same t-shirt rail, and you're all just moving. You're all moving around like, at the same rate. So you're just all looking, and you got to look for like, oh, she's picked that up, but she's put it down or whatever. Yeah. So I always used to just look at just dresses, and some stuff I have sold from that, but in terms of price point, it has always come out a lot higher.
Yeah.
So like the dresses I'm looking at are like a £5 each, and I'm having like whereas I would normally try and buy stuff for about £2 to £3 at the very most. So sometimes it does come out a bit more expensive, but you just got to be like, especially the ones where you can pick the items, you just got to be very, very careful.
Very savvy. Yeah, exactly. If you know that you can spend a £5 to get 20, you'd do it, right? But ultimately, if you're going to spend £10, £15 on an item, you're going to at least warrant 30, 40 quid on that, right?
Yeah.
Just to make it worth it.
When I went that one particular time, I bought a few pair of diesel jeans, like diesel Larky.
Yeah.
I bought some 501s, bought some Ralph Lauren items as well. be quite honest, you know, I did make money off him and I sold the lot, you know, whatever I bought. But the jeans did work out, you know, something like £6 cost value, you know, per pair.
Yeah.
But when you're flogging them for like 25, 30 quid,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
you've got to be really careful on what you're buying and just make sure that you inspect everything, you know, just make sure that zips work, all the buttons are there, there's no holes in the crotch, you know, and stuff like that.
There's wear and tear spots, aren't there, on any pair of clothing you need to check.
Yes,
Definitely.
exactly. And another place I tend to source as well, but I don't do it as often now. But I go online on an auction site called Job Lots.
Job
I don't know
Lots.
if you've heard of that.
I have heard of Job Lots. Job
Job Lots.
Yeah.
They sell a lot of Amazon returns, also end of line and end of season products, new or customer returns. And I used to buy the customer returns because obviously on an auction they were going to be quite cheap. And when I first started, I was really lucky, you know, that the items they weren't really damaged or, you know, and I could resell them. Any electrical, Steve was testing them for me before I put them, you know, on eBay. But then suddenly I started getting boxfuls of crap, and they were broken beyond, you know, beyond repair. You couldn't do anything with, so I was bidding more than I were actually buying. And so I started now just looking on the new and end of line surplus stock, which is a lot better. You can still get some bargains, but it's quite vicious bidding. You know, you think you're going to win something, and then last minute somebody else jumps in. But
classic.
I do that about once a month. Yeah.
Okay.
It all depends on what. I mean, some of it is crap. You know, it's all like made in China stuff. What Amazon sell, and you know, but you can get some really good things. I bought a load of pasta makers, you know, those Mercato Atlas proper pasta makers. Yeah. I mean, on eBay, you can flog them between 50 and 60 quid.
Yeah.
And I was winning those at £12.
Oh, okay.
You know, so you can guarantee within 48 hours they're sold.
Yeah.
You know, they're really, really popular. So that's just another place where you can look. But you've got to be careful, and it's in the terms and conditions that if you are buying customer returns, if they're broken, there's nothing you can do. You can't get your money back, no matter how much you complain.
Yeah.
You took that gamble, and it's down to you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
the problem is with that as well, they put the stock photos on, so you think you're buying something.
Oh yeah, of course.
False perception. You think you're buying something what is going to look like that, but in reality, when it comes, it's in a battered box. It could be in pieces. That is not the true picture of what you're buying, but that's how it is.
That's just the way it is.